Hello everyone. Today, I will share an extremely unique and useful tip, sharpening a knife with a ring wrench. It may sound strange, but its effectiveness will definitely surprise you. Before sharpening, I will try to check how sharp the knife is now. Here, I have a fresh lemon. I put it on the cutting board and started cutting it with the knife. As soon as the blade touched the lemon peel, I immediately felt the sluggishness. The knife did not go down immediately, but had to press hard. When I brought the knife down, instead of cutting cleanly, the knife dragged on the peel. I tried to cut another cut. This time, I had to pull it back and forth many times before the lemon would separate. Looking at the cut, you can see that it is not smooth at all, but instead there are messy tears. That proves that the knife has become significantly dull and is no longer sharp enough to cut food neatly. With a knife in such a condition, cooking will be quite inconvenient, from cutting fruits, slicing vegetables, to preparing meat and fish. Therefore, I will sharpen the knife with a ring wrench to fix it. Now, let's move on to the knife sharpening step. First, I will prepare toothpaste and an old toothbrush. I start with the important step of applying toothpaste to the knife. Put a sufficient amount of toothpaste on the tip of the toothbrush. No need for too much, just a strip of toothpaste, about 2 to 3 centimeters long, is enough to cover both sides of the blade. When the toothpaste is squeezed out, you will see the smooth green foam lying neatly on the bristles, ready to rub on the knife. Next, I hold the knife firmly, then use the toothbrush to start rubbing evenly from the back of the knife down to the blade. I move the toothbrush in a horizontal line parallel to the blade, going in short strokes so that the toothpaste is spread evenly. First on one side, then turn the knife around to do the other side. Once you are sure that both sides of the knife are covered, the knife will look like it has a protective white coat. Now we will move on to the main part, sharpening the knife with a ring wrench. I hold the knife that has been covered with toothpaste, then place the open end of the ring wrench against the knife surface. The blade needs to be placed slightly diagonally from the ring, so that when sharpening, it will create better friction. To start, I sharpen in an inclined direction, from the base of the knife, gradually pulling towards the tip of the knife. I sharpen each side of the knife about 15 to 20 times. If I see the toothpaste starting to dry, I just need to spray a little more water to make the operation smoother. During the sharpening process, I also often change directions. Sometimes I move the knife forward, sometimes I pull it back. Thanks to that, the blade is in contact with the wrench at many different angles, helping to sharpen the entire surface. In addition to sharpening the end of the ring, I also use the entire wrench body to sharpen. The wrench body is made of solid metal, has a flat and hard surface, so when rubbing the knife on it, it also creates a very good sharpening effect, especially with the long blade. After a few sharpening rounds, I use a paper towel to wipe off the toothpaste on the knife. After the blade has been sharpened with a ring wrench, the next step is to brighten the surface of the knife to make it look like new. When the knife is used for a long time, in addition to being dull, the surface often has grease, rust stains, or dull spots. And here, I will take advantage of 2 very familiar ingredients in the kitchen: baking soda and vinegar. First, I prepare a plastic tray or glass box large enough to hold the knife. Then, I put the knife and the wrench I just used for sharpening inside the tray. Next, I take a small amount of baking soda and sprinkle it evenly on the surface of the blade as well as the body of the wrench. tiny white powder particles begin to stick to the metal. Immediately after that, I pour in vinegar so that the solution completely covers both the knife and the wrench. When the vinegar comes into contact with the baking soda, a chemical reaction immediately occurs, creating a lot of bubbles that bubble and bubble continuously. To clean more thoroughly, I used an old toothbrush to gently scrub both sides of the blade, going deep into the small crevices in the hinge. Next, I also took the opportunity to scrub the wrench to make it shine brighter. When I finished scrubbing, I took the knife and wrench out, rinsed them with clean water to completely remove the vinegar smell and remaining foam. Finally, I used a soft cloth to dry the entire knife. At this point, the blade was shiny, bright as a mirror, and looked no different from a new knife. After sharpening and polishing the knife, it's time to check the results. I'll go back to the lemon from earlier. This time, when I put the knife down on the lemon peel, the blade immediately cut into the lemon pulp, cutting a sweet line. The lemon peel separated neatly. Without being crushed, the lemon juice flowed out clear and beautiful. With just one stroke of the knife, the lemon peel was quickly cut apart, instead of having to pull it back and forth many times like before. So with just a wrench and a few simple ingredients like toothpaste, baking soda and vinegar, I have turned a dull knife into a sharp, shiny knife like new. This is a small, easy-to-do tip, but extremely useful in everyday life. If you find this video interesting, try applying it at home, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so I have more motivation to share more interesting DIY tips.